Well, just happened to look up. Camera started recording. So I guess we just need to hop to it. So we're gonna shuffle up a little bit and see what messages come out. All right. These are some of the cards that came out in the last read that I wanted to take a picture of individually. Because those cards, those angel cards, they have so many attributes on there. As soon as I read them, I forget them. As soon as I read them, I forget them. All right, so the first card out, we have no hierarchy, just oneness. And then we also have dimensional gateway. Now there's a dimensional gateway meditation from one of my oracle books. Ooh, now I'm trying to remember the ritual that it gave. Next, we got two cards for the next placement. It says, when you stop chasing, you start choosing. And then it says, then we have, this moment is filled with safety and love. You're being your own knight in shining armor. You're protecting yourself by no longer chasing. You're choosing now. Like the Empress, Emperor energy that you embody. This moment is filled with love because you are loving yourself enough to choose you. You're noticing that people who are not truly at one with you, you're accepting to see that there are a lot of people who you don't experience that oneness with because they wouldn't hurt you. They wouldn't hurt themselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? So obviously, you don't experience oneness with this person because they don't know how to put themselves in your shoes and be like, I wouldn't want someone to do this to me. So I'm going to allow myself to just operate in my ego and do a shuck and jive dance, love bomb, buy some gifts and stuff to make this person forgive me, and then we can keep going on this cycle. Yeah, it definitely feels as though someone tried to triangulate you in a third party. It says, I don't compete, I align. Okay. Card underneath that, I pray, I slay. Okay, you are slaying these dragons, being your own personal knight in shining armor, not waiting for anyone to come save you any longer. Look at this card. When you're in your authenticity, much power and grace rally to support you. This moment is filled with safety and love because you're standing in your authenticity and you're taking back your power. So grace is surrounding you as you handle this particular situation. And perhaps release it. Moving the fuck on. It says they don't know how to handle you with the care you deserve. And that is a really tough truth that you've had to become one with. It says move the fuck on somewhere, cuz. Move the fuck on. This person can't love you. They probably loving you with everything they have in them, but it's not enough. It's not enough because their version of love is a third party keeping you in competition. You don't compete, you align. And obviously this situation isn't in alignment with what you want, because I know your goals, your relationship goals ain't a third party situation. I know your relationship goals ain't, you spend time with them or this person, place, or thing, and then they go show that same type of love and give that same type of energy to someone else. Like, see, you spend time with me, we do our thing, you go to work, you go out and do your thing, but what you do with me, you shouldn't be doing with nobody else. Like, no, I don't want to share. I'm not trying to share, but this person knew that you love them so much that you would put up with that, and you possibly did for a while. Wow. Look at this next card. I win when I love myself first. I win when I love myself first. You wasn't loving yourself first by allowing yourself to be in a third party, to allow yourself to be put in competition, to allow yourself to allow this person to triangulate you between one other person, two other people, who knows how many people. You are luxury. Why is you playing around like a little peon? So yes, you may have grown comfortable in the situation. Unfortunately, I'm gonna post y'all probably seen this lady a lot. She does a lot of videos in regards to narcissism, and she was really dropping some jewels in the last video I saw. And she was saying, like, you're not stupid. Your nervous system was hacked. Your nervous system was systemically hijacked to allow you to fall into trauma bonding. And trauma bonding is not what people think it is. It's that this person, love bombs you and then take the love away. Love bombs you and then disappears. Love bomb you and then, be cold or short in conversation with you. And so you bond in that trauma, in that toxicity, right? They were successfully and psychologically training and brainwashing you to accept the bullshit, because you experience the highest of highs, but it's inevitable that you're going to face the lowest of lows, because this person is not committed to just you. They probably don't want a commitment. They're probably afraid of commitment. Again, like the card says, they can't handle you with the care you deserve. They don't know how to handle you with the care you deserve. Move the fuck on. And so it may be scary because you've grown accustomed to that type of energy, to this person, to the love that you have. Like, this is Ace of Cups love. It's unconditional. You showed them unconditional love, but they weren't able to do the same and return that love for you. But Spirit says, as you walk away and move the fuck on, you need never fear the dark. Like, it's the unknown. The situation, the relationship, the situationship is unknown, and you find comfort there when things are good. Even when it comes to this person, if you really need them, they're gonna show up for you. They're gonna move heaven and earth and maybe lie if they're with their other person, but they will do what they need to do to make sure you're good. But then they're gonna go right back over there. It's not. They're not gonna stay with you. Then, like, you got limited time. spend time with you on these days, and I'm going on over there on those days. Like, get with it. Stay with it. But you're a luxury. You got to start respecting yourself and loving yourself. What it says, I win when I put myself first. You got to start putting yourself first because you are luxury. Okay? You need to operate out of elegance and not ego. Your ego is what allows you to stay in this situation because you feel like it's safe, because it's the known. But you need never to fear the dark. And then we have use your voice. So you're going to be speaking up, whether it's via text, actual phone conversation, or face-to-face conversation. You're going to use your voice and speak your truth. And then the last card we have here is It's Already Mine. So the love that you want, you already have that within yourself. You just got to learn to put yourself first. And I feel like you've done that. But, this person slipped through the cracks, and really grabbed your heart chakra in a way that maybe no one else ever had. Even though it's filled with toxicity and breadcrumbing, unfortunately for you, and sadly for you, that's probably the best love you've ever experienced. Go figure. So, yes, this person is very charming, caring, loving, to a certain extent, right? And they could have been performing the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Pretending to be interested in the things you're interested in. Pretending to like you and love you so that they can get what they want. They may have always been this selfish person disguised and masked as, a divine masculine. But the mask slipped multiple times. You knew what was up. You just chose to ignore your intuition. All right, let's get clarifiers for each of the cards out here. I'm going to try not to ramble too much. Just allow the messages to come out. And keep it moving. So let's get one tarot card for confirmation for each of the placements that we have here. Okay, bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Pentacles. You're grounding yourself. When I win when I put myself first. Not in a way that is going to be offensive or to hurt someone else. This person you was dealing with, they put themselves first when it came to third parties. It's what they wanted, so that's what they did, no matter if it hurt you. They intentionally did things that they knew would hurt you. You choosing you and putting yourself first by not allowing that behavior, could have been, it may have hurt the person, but what are we really saying here? These are two different sides of the coin when it comes to, it's not selfishness, it's self-fullness to put yourself first, because you sacrificed so much and overlooked so much to just stay in relationship with this person. But the abuse, the emotional abuse, was never going to end. It was never going to stop unless you put a stop to it because you loved yourself first. Bottom of the deck, angel card, we have Milahel. It's number 23. Changes, baby. 2 and 3 reduces to a 5. 5 represents changes. You're making decisions to expand self, to to free yourself from any blockages. Look at that. First thing on here, the capacity for healing. You have the capacity for healing and you are aligning with it. Okay? You don't compete, you align. You're no longer chasing. You stop chasing. When you stop chasing, you start choosing. And you have began to choose. You're making conscious decisions when it comes to your relationships, not putting up the blinders in order to live in a fantasy of potential. You saw the potential between you and this person as a power couple, but they didn't share that same sentiment. They were, here and there and everywhere, Even hell, they could have spent more time with you than they did the others, but there were others, and ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. You deserve more. It says doctor, pharmacologist, healer, and scientist are people that can possibly connect with the Milael energy, and that's Melahel. This is a masculine angel energy for me because it ends in EL, and then the other ones ends in AH. So I do kind of feel like that's the difference between the masculine and feminine. But I think I have seen some feminine divine beings whose name end in the EL. So I don't think that applies. I don't think it's absolute, but we're gonna go with that sentiment. But again, if you are a healer, a pharmacologist, a doctor, or a scientist, this is a great energy that is likely already involved in already, kind of watching over you and involved in your day-to-day or whatever, because these energies align. Again, it says knows the properties and virtues of medicinal plants. So you could be into herbs. You can it would possibly benefit you to work with herbs. You're likely someone that does it already, but also are natural at it, that your mixtures can truly heal people. You have that gift. It says healthy food and cultivation. So this angelic energy can help you get your diet and nutrition together. It says naturopathy. So again, look at this. It literally says herbalist. I was going to speak about herbs, but that's the next title here, in natural sciences. So this is the angel over those areas of study. It says the self becomes a medicinal plant. Ooh. This energy helps yourself to become a medicinal plant. Your energy is healing. Even when we've expressed that that idea in other ways already. We know that you're a healer. We know that your presence heals, right? We know that your love heals because you're on a different frequency than most. Goodness. I'm saying goodness because we hadn't even got to the clarifiers in the read and we're already at like 20 minutes, and I wanted this to be a quick one. Pacifying and soothing. So this person can really help to ease the hurt and pain as you are facing reality and letting go of a comfort zone. It says masters one's emotion, adapts to every situation. This energy helps you to adapt to the changes. Okay, 2, 3 reduces to a 5, represents changes, helps you to adapt to the changes, help you to master your emotions in the change. Right? It says faith that anticipates knowledge. Okay, so this could be that energy of, yes, you allowed yourself to be in this situation, but you allowed yourself to sit in it and to flow with whatever came your way because you know there was a lesson that you needed to learn. So though you were in hurt and heartache and pain and continuously, you stayed for as long as you needed to stay to learn the lesson. For some people, that could be a day, an hour, you just having a conversation with a person. For some, weeks, months. For others, years, 10 years. But you stay as long as it is necessary. So don't beat yourself up. You stay as long as you sit still and do nothing. But as part of the chosen, that's not anything that you do. Like, we're always constantly learning and seeking to evolve and to grow. So that's the reason why this made a situation like this wouldn't take 7 years out of your life. I feel like you may have been involved in a situation like this before, and maybe it occupied 3 to 5 years, but this time it only took you a year to learn the lesson. But either way, the time in which you are not in equilibrium grows shorter and shorter and shorter. And remember, the Most High can restore the years that the locusts ate away. So it is whatever you thought was lost, when you're in alignment, when you are sincerely being your true and authentic self, even if that means your true and authentic self may be low vibing at this time or whatever, you allow yourself to flow through the ups and downs and allow it to help you strengthen your your walk, because you're going to have to put those tools to work. You're going to have to start creating your own rituals and being more conscious and applying more meditation, because baby, you've been undergoing very strong spiritual warfare, and you feel the same for your person, right? But you couldn't really talk to them in that way because it may have been too woo woo for you. Like, you have women jealous of you that may be wishing evil on your relationship, and with this person vibing at a low state because you can't really talk to them in that manner because they're not ready to receive it and to evolve. They're just going to look at you stupid, remain in that low vibing energy, and whatever negativity and spiritual warfare that people send to you to block, they're going to, unbeknownst to them, pick up that energy and allow those walls to come up. And whatever, again, they love bomb you and walk away. They and even they have their own dark attachments that they hadn't dealt with either. So to deal with someone that's spiritually in tune like you, a healer, doctor, pharmacologist, a scientist, you are a scientist. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's high ranking energy. You know what I'm saying? So to be of someone of high rank like that, there's constant negative energies, just can't wait for a crack in your aura to be able to get in. And usually when someone wants to affect someone, they do it through love, right? They may send someone in to make you, the devil knows that, to break a woman, send a man, make her fall in love. She'll lose her mind, forget about her. Like, it happens to everyone, and it's like, you should be able to see the signs and this and the third something. It's slick. That energy is slick. It finds a way. But you're adapting to the situation. Faith that anticipates knowledge is this protection of the environment and respect for nature, and also initiated into the secrets of the forces of nature. Okay, so that's the bottom of the deck card, asking you to really ground, connect with nature, use herbs to help you heal mind, body, and spirit. Okay, so let's try to just go through these next ones. So clarifying, no hierarchy, just oneness. We have the Wheel of Fortune. You're connecting to what's in alignment with you. Not saying that you're better than this person. They have the same ability to heal and to evolve as well. They're just choosing not to do it consciously or subconsciously. There are blockages there, and you've done all you can do. It's clarified by the number 39, which reduces to a 3, I'm sure. Yeah, because 3 plus 9 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So it reduces to a 3, which represents expansion. Okay. Another masculine angel energy, in my opinion. It's Rehael, Rehael, Rehael. This energy, this being brings the energy of submission and receptivity. Again, no hierarchy, just oneness. You're submitting and surrendering to what is, allowing yourself to feel the emotions, to allow them to flow through you and out of you. You're receptive to what is needed for you to grow instead of turning a blind eye. You're truly submitting to what is, to the reality. It says perfect submission to fair parents and to the right authority. Okay, you're no longer submitting to people, places, or things that are not in alignment. I had to make a card. I had to make that a card. But yeah, let's continue to read. Rehael. It says paternal love, obedience, and respect. It says healing of anxiety, depression, and mental illness. This high highs, lowest lows that this person put you through. You know what they call that in the mental health industry? Bipolar. This person had you all wound up in a bipolar ass love. It's like they wanted you to go crazy, to completely lose yourself, and to continue to abandon yourself for their pleasure. This is the card. This Rehael brings regeneration. Wow, shut up. Look at this. And respect for hierarchy. The odds that this card is clarifying a card that has hierarchy in it. That's not a word that's used commonly, but it says no hierarchy, just oneness. And you respect the fact that you guys are just on different levels. You know? Y'all see things differently. You know how to follow the right authority. This person isn't the right authority, and they don't have the wisdom to follow your authority because you do know a little bit more than them. Not, again, it doesn't mean that you're better than them, but there's so much you did really, as an earth angel, You were possibly sent to this person again to help heal them. You were like a spirit guide in the flesh, an earth angel, right? But this person just wasn't ready to receive you. So you stopped chasing and started choosing to put your energy where it could align you. And it took a lot of love and faith in the Most High, in your higher self, and yourself to do this. So even though it's painful and difficult, this moment is filled with love. You are safe. Even though you may feel exposed and vulnerable, and perhaps you don't really know how things are going to go, if you're not, especially if you don't have this person to call on, because they definitely became a comfort blanket. They became someone that you knew you could call on for the most part. But at the same time, there were a lot of limitations. So that Page of Wands, it's the card clarifying this. This is a new idea that is coming upon you. Pages can represent childishness, right? So you stop acting like a little child, just going wherever the wind blew you, and decided that you're going to start making conscious decisions, not allowing yourself to stay in the fantasy land and put your blinders on and your rose-colored glasses on. Wow. 32. We just did the bottom of the deck card was 23. Now we have 32. So that's a mirroring energy, right? So there's definitely some mirroring going on. So again, it's like you had to go through this situation to learn a specific lesson, and thank goodness, thank the Most High that you're on a spiritual journey, because if you weren't, this could have been a situation that you continue to betray yourself in for decades, because you're dealing with a master manipulator in a way. But we have a feminine energy here with Vasaria, Vasariah. Vasaria brings clemency. I think that has something to do with court rulings or something like that. Uprightness, benevolence, magnanimity. Wow. Allows us to set ourselves free from guilt. Again, like I said, we played a part in the situation, but seeing the bigger picture, we knew why we fell back asleep. We know why we allowed ourselves to fall back asleep. There was a lesson that needed to be learned, and you can free yourself. We had multiple cards coming out because you did feel guilt for pursuing a situation that you knew at least you had the knowledge of other situations, and you chose to stay around, hoping that this person would choose you. But no matter how grimy it sounds, you did it from a pure heart. It kind of gives the, in a way, not 100% the Robin Hood type thing, where stealing from the rich to give to the poor. Stealing is bad either way, but there was a pure heartedness that inspired that action with the Page of Wands. You're very mature in your thinking, kind of, in a way. Very childlike, but, it's time for you to wake the fuck up. You are. And call on Vasaria to help set yourself free from the guilt, and just, again, get that bigger picture understanding. It says nobility, elevated sense of justice, understands the meaning of ordeals. Okay, again, the situation, this relationship, the situationship was an ordeal, but you took the time to understand the meaning of it. Natural pardon. So again, you've paid your karma. You've paid your karma. You've been pardoned because you came from a pure heart, even though it was some bullshit. You did come from a pure heart with it, you know. I think it's a Marvin Gaye song that says something, you know, it's not, this is, all is fair in love and war. So in love, you feel like all is fair because you truly love. But what's that line in there? Marvin Gaye, I think it's a Marvin Gaye song. It's something about it don't really matter when there's true love. And there's you had true love for this person, unconditional love. That's why you overlooked so much for so long, even when you were lacking integrity. Even though up to this point you was to the book in regards to integrity, but when the heart gets involved, logic and morality sometimes can go out the window. You know, but at the same time, you do have narcissistic people, whether they are conscious of it or not, that have figured out a formula to manipulate people. And yeah, they may have done it as a coping mechanism from their childhood, but that doesn't excuse them. Judge, magistrate, lawyer. So again, we did speak about the courthouse, you know, with the clemency. And you are judge, magistrate, and lawyer. Okay. It says gifted speaker. Remember, we did have use your voice, so you need to speak up in whatever way you feel necessary, but still maintain modesty and kindness. Don't come from a place of anger. When you do this, I can't tell you not to come from a place of hurt or disappointment. But again, and you can come from a place of anger too, but don't allow that to make you go into a low vibration and try to abuse them and do tit for tat. Yes, you're angry, yes, you're mad, but you can still get your point across maturely. You know, not acting like a page. It says memory, knowledge of good and evil. It says goodness, generosity, mentality. And that's, you know, and that's what you have. That's who you are. You are love. But you are choosing. When you stop chasing, you start choosing. And you're choosing safety. Like this person kept, with all the ups and downs, this person kept your nervous system deregulated. And I heard a line from this other video I was watching about cheaters, and she says an abuser deregulates other people's nervous systems to regulate their own. And again, these people know what they're doing. I don't want to keep saying whether it's consciously or subconsciously. When it's a pattern, they know what they're doing. But just like you fell victim to their manipulation, they're possibly falling victim to their own manipulation. Again, and these were set in place from childhood traumas likely. So, and I feel like that's part of the reason why you stayed so long as well. It's because you saw the hurt. You saw why this person was doing what they were doing, and you tried to love them despite it, but there was just no change. And this was just going to be a continuous cycle that you could not allow yourself to stay on. But we have it's already mine, right? So we have the Six of Cups here. which can represent the healing. This could represent healing of the inner child. Okay, we have been speaking on that. And again, the trauma bond, you may have experienced a lot of abandonment, neglect, and rejection from your family. Not saying this person dealt with that in their family. They may not have, but they may have dealt with that in romantic situations for them. So you guys experience the same thing, but in a different way. So again, there's trauma on both ends, and you guys both have to work through it. But again, with the Six of Cups, I do see that there is healing. And it's already mine, maybe the understanding that you need to align. Said, I don't compete, I align. I pray, I slay. You know. And you know that the love you want is yours. Especially when you put yourself first. You win when you put yourself first. The love and the connection that you want is here. You can receive it. Once you allow yourself to open up to receive it. The clarifier for It's Already Mine is 62, which reduces to an 8. Okay, so 8 can bring abundance. That's why people can be like, you can write the number 8, put it in your wallet, may bring money towards you. It can represent karma. You know, what goes around comes around. Type-ish for your person, because Spirit already let you know that you've paid your karma. All of the heartbreak and pain you went through repeatedly, you've paid your karma. Now this person, they did what they did, put you through that, and they were just living their life because you didn't burden them with your pain like you could have, right? You didn't have emotional outbursts and anger and arguments with this person. You really dealt with it in a mature way, as mature as you can. But look at, wow. So it's E-I-L. So it's I-A-H-H-E-L. Eihel. The attributes of Eihel is knowledge rediscovered. So again, it's all about remembering and coming back to self with the knowledge and wisdom gained from the experience you just been through. Because again, like we said, before you've been through this, and it may have lasted 3 years, but this time now as you're coming out of it, this time it only lasted 1.5 years. So it's that time frame in which you go through these things, hopefully we pray that it just keeps going shorter and shorter and shorter until you're strong enough to nip things in the bud. Philosopher and mystic, perhaps this is necessary, and then also, unfortunately, as a leader, you have to go through certain things in order for you to be able to help other people out of their own when they fall into it, right? You've had to heal yourself, and in you healing yourself, it gives you the knowledge necessary to heal self so that you can share that with others. You are a philosopher, a mystic, a doctor, a healer. You have to go through things and overcome in order for you to truly live your purpose and soul mission. But I have a card that says your nervous system is so regulated that you look for challenges to overcome. Maybe your soul that's what your spirit called in. You didn't do it consciously, but maybe your soul called this situation in. because you got to strengthen those muscles to fight. Enlightenment. Okay, so this situation enlighten something for you, whether you're aware of it or not. I do feel like if you are aware, but EIL brings enlightenment. She procures wisdom and a sense of responsibility. I love this. We already spoke about this though. Because it's like, that, yes, you're angry and you're upset with this person, but it's not all on them. You allowed it. And you allowed the treatment. You got to keep it honest. You got to be honest with yourself. You allowed the treatment for so long. But again, you win when you put yourself first. And like we've been saying, you're carrying the wisdom from this situation. You will carry it into the next stage of your life. Okay? And we're taking responsibility and accountability for the part we played in getting played. Okay? It says beneficial for retreats. So EIL is beneficial for retreats, facilitates the internalization process. Okay, helps you to internalize what you've gone through, and to be able to pull out the wisdom from it. And knowledge is the implication of wisdom. I think that's how that goes. So here we go again with modesty. But it says modesty and gentleness. Okay, even this other card spoke of modesty. Modesty and kindness. Don't allow this person to pull you out of character. You are a pure heart. You're an earth angel. That's what I'm saying. Don't act in anger. But that's not you. You are too emotionally intelligent to you're too emotionally intelligent for that. Don't allow them to pull you out of character. Sometimes anger is necessary. You know what I'm saying? But you have discernment. Look at that. Solitude and tranquility. That's why you're pulling back your energy. You've been spending time with yourself, getting back to self. You're winning when you put yourself first. And I also have a card and I saw this not too long ago. It says, your solitude saved your life. You're getting back to that energy of being in your own energy. Because for so long, you shared that space with someone else. You wanted this other person constantly. All day, every day. They just wanted you some days. Most days. But not all day, every day like you. It wasn't an equal give and take. It says, favors the meeting of a man and a woman. Okay, look at this. Payment of karmic debts. Pacifism. So another card spoke about pacifying as well. So pacifying, you think about soothing, a way to self-soothe. But it kind of gives a little bit of excusing. And you deserve to be excused. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you don't want to get too much into making excuses for yourself. You've been through a lot. You don't have to be so hard on yourself either. It says refinement of the senses. Ooh, honey, in the last read, we spoke about this and how you are evolving in all of the clairs. Okay? I literally did a right burner release that said I am growing or evolving in all of the clairs. So literally clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. Okay? Refinement of the senses. You are growing more powerful and adept in using your spiritual abilities. You're gaining new spiritual gifts. You are evolving in the spiritual gifts that you already have. And you're just growing, okay? With the Six of Cups, again, you're reconciling with your spiritual practice. reconciling with your gifts because you were this relationship distracted you and threw you off and out of alignment for a minute because you saw someone that would be great for your journey. You saw the potential, the fantasy, but you saw the potential in this person and how if you guys come together, how you could help humanity and just be great together and achieve so much. But this person fought you every step of the way. They were giving a little bit, and they'll snatch all that back and make you feel like you just imagined gaslight, a form of gaslighting. Make you feel like you just imagined all the love was there, because like, how can you be so distant and so cold now when you were just worshiping, kissing my feet damn near, you know? But they gotta switch from that when they're with that other person. They can't be doting on you all day long with someone else. But again, got a lot of masculine energy out here, only one feminine card when it comes to the angel cards. It was the opposite last night, or in the last reading I did. But we're just gonna kind of go through. Look at that. I picked up the deck. This was the one I wasn't able to pick them all up. And this is the card that was left down there. Look at this. Rejected you to entertain other people. Okay. Use your voice. I want to kind of pull out the cards that we've already saw. First, I just saw the card, everything I want wants me. And remember, the last card in this read is it's already mine. You're being brought together with what it is that you want. Period. The best is yet to come. Look at this. Wow. This is the card I just made, and this is the card I just pulled up. No longer submitting to what is not in alignment. I literally just created this card and shuffled it in to the deck, and then it pops out. You're facing the truth that this person is not in alignment. You're being honest with yourself, and you're being your own knight in shining armor. You can save yourself. It says there is something very powerful about your gaze. You can look at people and have an effect on them. I'm seeing Metatron here, so Metatron could be also is also an energy that is ready to assist you. So again, we got Milahel, Rihael, Visaria, and Iahel. All of these energies are ready to assist you whenever you give them permission or allow them in or ask for their help. Whew. We just talked about refinement, right? It says refinement of the senses, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. This card says they intended to harm you, but was the very fire that refined you. You don't want to accept this. You don't see it. And maybe this was subconscious within them and how they just treat women because of how hurt they've been in the past. And they were making you pay for the hurt that they've been through in the past. And they wanted to break you. Whether they know it or not, they wanted to break you. This person may experience the misogyny, that women are nothing. I can just use them. This person just wanted to use you, wanted to use your power, wanted to use that beautiful earth angel energy to boost their ego, whether they know it or not. They're not going to admit it outright, but on a soul level, that is what they were doing, and they know that's what they were doing. Right? But again, they intended to harm you and to break you. But was the very fire, the harm they intended on you was the very fire that you needed to refine you. Again, I win when I choose myself first. I win when I put myself first. And this person forced you to do that. You are love. You are love. This person had no business treating you or allowing you to go through the things that you went through just to love them. Look at this. That's why I said don't get angry. There's a lot of cards speaking about calm, C-A-L-M. It says, my calm creates miracles. So you can't allow this person to rile you up. You got to stay calm. And in that video about the narcissist, she said the one sentence that narcissists hate is, I don't need anything from you. I don't need anything else from you. When a person can say that and really mean it, that is what narcissists hate the most. Look at that. It's, don't touch that unless you mean it. Don't do it. Okay? This person knew what you wanted, knew how much you loved them. You know what I'm saying? And they used that to get what they wanted. They shouldn't have been intimate with you if they knew they weren't going to give you what you wanted. If they knew they were never going to commit to you. But hey, that connection, played a part in why you possibly couldn't walk away as well. But again, you're calling back your power. You're manifesting and acting on the visions that you want. You know that the love that you want is already yours. You know that what you want wants you. So obviously, this person ain't what you want because they don't want you back in the same way that, you want them. Or what you thought you wanted. So Spirit is saying you thought you wanted that. This rejection is protection. We knew that you weren't going to get what you needed from this, but we needed you to recognize that. And honestly, if you be honest with yourself, from day one, in the very beginning, there were so many red flags, and you knew, that you were going against yourself. That you were ignoring your intuition. Because this person painted such a beautiful picture, honey. Of their character, and just of themselves. Oh my gosh. But that person doesn't exist. They became what they needed to become. This is what I learned from the narcissist video that I'm going to post. They became what you needed them to become. In order to make you fall for them. Temptation, right? First word on this card is temptation. It's a temptation to stay in emotional comfort zone. But you're taking bold action and rejecting that comfort zone. And you're speaking into life You're speaking to the universe and it listens. You've refined your clairs. You defined your, what it says, refinement of the senses. You refined your senses and taking your power back, and you are manifesting and acting. What is that card? We saw that, the manifesting and acting on your vision now. The universe is can now start to grant your wishes, because they couldn't grant them while you were still hanging around with this person, because you knew that they would bless you and you would just let them drain all of that out of you. They couldn't bless you in this connection. The universe is ready to light up your life, but you just got to stand your ground. Look at that, enlightenment. Light up your life and enlightenment. And then right here, bottom of the deck, I have golden energy. You've repaired the holes in your aura. Light up your life. And the universe is ready to light up your life with the love of your life, with abundance, with the number 8, enlightenment. So I think I'm going to end it right there, family. It's bittersweet. You know, the energy is very much so bittersweet. But we are taking it one day at a time, allowing ourselves to just flow, to experience and to feel the feels, not judging it, you know, emptying ourselves in meditation when we become overwhelmed, perhaps, so that we can find that center and that calm, because what? My calm creates miracles. Being calm in such dire circumstances brings in the solutions much faster, because you're not running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Now you were a bird. You were being a bird for a very long time. But you have regained your calm, your groundedness, your centeredness. You're not existing in the polarities any longer. And the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. No, you need peace, you need balance, you need a regulated nervous system. And that requires you to step away from this relationship in the way that it was, you know, happening. So that in mind, since I do see these here, let's get some grounding energy. We're going to pull out this good old root chakra. We're going to pull out some heart chakra and solar plexus energy here, family. Hopefully y'all can feel those vibrations. Bringing in confidence. Healing our heart chakra. And grounding ourselves in that healing and that confidence, knowing who we are and what we are capable of. Reclaiming our power and our right to be loved correctly. It's your birthright. How can you be this person so full of love and not find your person or be destined to live life alone? That just doesn't add up. But you can block that if you settle. Stand your ground, no longer settling. I hadn't gave myself this energy to me. All right, we can wrap up for real this time. I kind of want to, we're going to do one more, the throat chakra, because we did have the card Use Your Voice. We saw the gifted speaker energy come out with one of the angel cards. So, throat chakra, so that you can speak up with boldness, clarity, conviction, healing, and for your highest good. I have to get back to that. I used to pray for my highest good all the time, and I stepped out of that trying to be more specific, but sometimes we just don't know. And when you pray for the highest good of all involved, you ain't gotta know exactly. They always tell you too, like, stop trying to figure out or limit how your blessings are going to come in. Like, you don't know how it's coming in, but you got to just know that it's coming in. And I forgot how I was trying to tie that in together. I literally forgot how I was trying to tie that in together. But if you know, you know. Regardless, there's plenty of messages and things that one could pick up in this read. So I'm gonna leave it there. Love you all, and until next time, peace. I'm sure I'll probably, if it's meant, that message will come out maybe in another video. But let me remember to go ahead and post that narcissist thing. And again, my readings, I'm doing this July 4th. It may not be published until a week or two later. But regardless, when you see it, it's when you're supposed to see it. So, yeah. Basically, you're going to get that narcissist video before you get this one. Because I'm going to do it today. Let me stop yapping. I'm over explaining. I'm about to keep on yapping. Let me just stop.